Welcome to Quick News. After their no-show last year, Sony is surprisingly not attending this year's E3 either. Skipping their second E3 in a row, Sony released a statement saying they have great respect for the ESA as an organisation, however they don't feel the vision of E3 2020 is the right venue for their focus this year. Interestingly, there isn't any news on when Sony will show off the PS5, but I'm still holding out for February or March. New photos of the Xbox Series X have surfaced, and this time we're getting a look at the ports on the back of the system. There's an Ethernet port, two USB Type-A's, an optical port, a single HDMI out port, and a strange rectangular port that is apparently used for diagnostics so won't be present on the final product, but this isn't confirmed. Interestingly, there's no USB Type-C ports, which is weird to be honest, as it's pretty much becoming the standard for just about everything, so I'm really shocked. Nintendo has put on a really strange direct for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate and announced the final fighter for the game. The hype grew even more when they said even Nintendo staff didn't know who it was, so when it was announced that it was Byleth from Fire Emblem, everyone was a little bit surprised to say the least. This was of course also a little bit disappointing as we already have a lot of Fire Emblem characters. They saved the best announcement for last, however, as they announced another 6 characters to be on their way before 2022, so Ultimate is just going to get even better in the next couple of years. Rumours surfaced that a new Left 4 Dead game was in development at Valve, and the excitement grew very quickly. The first 2 games were loved and a new game would be huge, but then Valve themselves came out and said absolutely not. In a statement, Valve said next-gen Left 4 Dead was discussed years ago, but also said nothing for Left 4 Dead has been worked on in years and the zombie series isn't currently in development at all. In more Valve news, Half-Life Alyx comes out soon, and Valve has decided to let everyone go onto Steam between now and the 1st of April, download every Half-Life game and play them completely for free. So if you've got a PC, get yourself Steam and enjoy some of the best games ever made. Ninja Theory has come out and announced it's working on a new game called Project Mara. According to the developer, the new game will be a real-world and grounded representation of mental terror. The new game will be an experimental title and a showcase of what could become a new storytelling medium. If the first Hellblade game and the trailer for the second title are anything to go by, this game has the potential to be truly special. Some really unfortunate news now, as just about every big game coming in spring this year has been delayed to summer and autumn, leading to some very questionable conspiracy theories. But that aside, let's start with Marvel's Avengers. Crystal Dynamics have announced that the game has been delayed until September the 4th, 2020, with the studio saying they will take the extra time focusing on fine-tuning and polishing the game. Next up is Cyberpunk 2077, arguably the biggest game coming this year, being delayed until the 17th of September 2020. Developer CD Projekt Red said, "We are currently at a stage where the game is complete and playable, but there's still work to be done. Night City is massive, full of stories, content and places to visit, but due to the sheer scale and complexity of it all, we need more time to finish playtesting, fixing and polishing." In some really unfortunate and horribly familiar news, Adam Kaczynski from CD Projekt Red has said developers will be required to put in crunch hours to get the game out by September. Now this is a huge problem in the industry, and I'm working on a Games to You video about this, but it's a huge video that's going to take time, so make sure you're subscribed to make sure you don't miss that. Back to delay week, and the final delay this week was Dying Light 2. The much anticipated zombie open world survival game has been delayed without a release date. Now technically there has never been a release date for the game, as it was simply stated for spring 2020, but the studio behind the game, Techland, has said that without a release date, the team has freed itself from time constraint and even given themselves an indefinite amount of time to bring Dying Light 2 to the standards the team is chasing. Now on to the big game releases, and quite honestly there's only really one this week. Dragon Ball Z Kakarot released and reviews have been mixed. The combat has been well received, but the open world RPG elements seem to be a letdown. Countless side quests that become boring quickly unfortunately bring the game down, But the game is beautiful, and the entire Dragon Ball Z story is here again with every epic moment and fight included. So absolutely, this is recommended for any Dragon Ball fan. So that's it. I'll be back next week for more quick news here on Huntman Productions. See you then.